I am Great Mother, Holy Spirit, Yin, Divine Mother, Cosmic Womb, Deep Space, the Moon, Dark Matter, the Void, the Black Hole, Hathor, Isis, Diana, Mami Ishtar, Kali.
Lakota warriors do not enter the village upon their return from war until they have been reintroduced to the Great Spirit that is at one with all again. Until the warring spirit is ceremoniously acknowledged for its service, offered gratitude for it in a time of need, and then released, it will remain with the soul of the man and inflict warfare in his spirit. Thus, an internal cause with external effects. Trauma does not ensue haphazardly. These great shamans knew that there are three conditions that must exist in order for trauma to materialize under any circumstances: mental illness, improper diet and or unhealthy environment, or a basic breakdown of ego-soul communication. External war is merely a reflection of internal battles. Therefore, in order to heal trauma, it is necessary to activate conscious awareness of this internal battle. Once activated, in order to heal it, one must take one's power back from the battle. We must cease fighting and allow ourselves to be whole again. This total lunar eclipse, blood wolf moon, is an invitation to accept the energetic support to purge the toxicity of the traumas that keep us from integrating our full selves, our healed selves, our divine selves, or an opportunity to receive the support you need to do the spiritual work of revisiting and redressing the trauma, to release it. This reading is for those of us who have experienced mama drama trauma. And like the warrior returning from war, we have acknowledged that we experience a condition in which the mother projects unhealed aspects of herself onto her child, causing emotional and or physical trauma. That she, as a result of her own MDT, is unable, unwilling, and or unavailable to heal herself. Therefore, we take on the challenge to heal ourselves, to break the cycle by activating our own healing through a process of loving detachment, learning to accept what is with love, the mother that we have, so that we can release the one that we want. Thus aligning our ego and our soul with the contract that we have with the soul that loves us like no other, the bond that is none other, established in a karmic contract to evolve us in self-love and spiritual independence through the experience of mama drama trauma that causes us to have an improper emotional and material diet, an unhealthy environment that brings about the mental illness and internal battle that we consistently and persistently seek that home, seek that house, seek to feel that ever deepening void in our lives, the mother. Great Mother is coming through with the Cancer North Node axes to heal this trauma. This final Leo Aquarius, Leo ruled by the sun, Great Father energy is reminding us of the law of divinity, which says, and we, Healing MDT, agree that we are first and foremost dearly loved divine children of the Great Mother Father God, who secondly are never judged or condemned. Thirdly, neither left alone. We are always assisted by our angels, guides, and ancestors. And so shall it be as we re-enter the village of civil, integrated life on this planet we call Earth. Enjoy your reading. Hello, Sagittarius moon sign people. This is a very, very important work position for you. And with Great Mother, of course, we're talking about inner work. The center card, Androgyne, as your inner work card, is the significator of the spread. It is the third quarter moon, single yin, double yang card. It's a throat chakra card, a law card. Great Father cards are the law cards of the deck. There's 6 of them. This is the law of destiny and free will. Destiny is the life that we live once we have embraced our divinity identity, that we are dearly loved children of the Great Mother Father God, who are never judged, condemned, or left alone. And in order to embrace that, we have to activate our free will. That is the ultimate choice of free will, to continue living an MDT identity or our divinity. And androgyne is that primal yin-yang energy that is within all of us. And this is so important because Sagittarius is Scorpio in the sidereal. There's a 24-degree precession, so most of you will be Scorpio moon sign in the sidereal. Some of you will be both Sagittarius. You want to listen to both to see which video resonates most with you, which sign does. This full moon is 9th house energy for you. So the sage is in the sage energy of this moon, which makes it so important that you are aligning, doing your inner work to align with the law of destiny and free will. Have you decided? Have you made that decision? Is what Great Mother is coming to you about. Have you decided to live in loving detachment, to own your divinity? Because loving detachment is required to do that. We have to detach from the lie that says that we are not loved, that we are not dearly loved, in fact, children of the Great Mother Father God, the sun, the moon, the cosmos, as gods and goddesses. The lie that says that we are perpetually judged and condemned. Never enough, never good enough, never just completely insignificant. Unless we have this, we do this, we are this. And alone. Because nobody cares about anything insignificant. Not even your angels, guides, and ancestors. What are those? So we have to live in loving detachment. And you know that perhaps better than most. But it's a challenge at this particular time, particularly if you are physically experiencing symptoms of pain, disease, or discomfort in the liver, hips, or thighs. You're feeling it. If you're not, well, then that means that you have been doing the inner work. You have made a decision to align with that. And what's bringing this up in that position of what's bringing this issue up for your soul at this time that Great Mother is saying needs inner work about is the Dagda card. Now, this is third quarter moon energy card. In third quarter, you have as your significator. So that's the release phase of the moon. That's letting go. That is living your integrity. Letting go of any and everything that keeps you out of that integrity of your divinity. That keeps you out of the integrity of owning your birthright through that divinity to be happy, healthy, and whole. That's third quarter moon energy. That's the primal energy of androgyne. That throat chakra speaking that law of your destiny, of your free will into your life, into the world, into your experience. And what's bringing the need for this inner work up, or what's bringing for some of you the confirmation that you have been doing this inner work, is Dagda, third quarter moon, second chakra. So this having to do with your desires of what you do want to experience and bring into the world. With double yin energy from what you're downloading. So you have downloaded this already. This is confirmation that you have. And for some of you who may not know or feel secure about it, yes, you absolutely have, with this eclipse being in your ninth house and the sun in your third. Okay, so communication. So you have received downloads. And what may not be clear about this in your shadow position is that you have been guided. The law of soul guidance and guardianship. Yeah, you've been guided. And you've been guarded through a lot of mazes that you've gone through, the labyrinth of this journey so far to choose your divinity. You've been guided through. Great Mother wants you to reflect on that a little bit. She wants you to realize that because there have been some issues with your family that have come up and that are going to be thematic throughout this nodal season of Cancer in the North Node, Capricorn in the South. Remember, this is the end of the Leo Aquarius, ringing out the towel. But this second house energy, where Saturn is for you right now in Capricorn conjunct Pluto, and Mercury is in there now, very strong communicative downloads, very strong soul communicative downloads about what needs to be released in your family relations, maybe even your diet, maybe in terms of what you are spending your time and resources on in your life that is distracting you. Because when we don't realize that we're being guided and guarded on our journey, we are easily distracted. And when we become distracted, we go back into old patterns. And there's that MVT identity all over again. So to stay on point, we want to receive, as we see here with the yin card, another third quarter moon card. You have 4 third quarter moon cards. This is the third one. But this one is the yin card of Jesus. This is heart chakra energy, which is the crossroads between the ego and the soul. Now, this is about receiving. You have to receive the guidance and the guardianship. Many of you have received the downloads. You've gotten the message. You've gotten the memo. This is confirmation for those of you who have received the memo but haven't actually received it in your life, as activating it in your life as a way that you move forward with your identity. Great Mother is giving you this confirmation that Jesus is in your shadow position. Recognize it. Because the Dagda, with that second chakra, the second chakra is ruled by Jupiter, which rules Sagittarius and Pisces. Now, when we're talking chakras, we are talking about the sidereal. So your Scorpio is that gut chakra energy, which is really the card that you have in the position of the status of your ego soul alignment, which is the Moses card. And this is the first quarter moon card that is about learning to live the law. And the law is ego soul alignment. The law is living our divinity identity. In other words, whether other people recognize our divinity, whether we even recognize our divinity or not, it's the law. It is. That's who we are. We are gods and goddesses who are here on a visit in physical form. We are divine beings having a human experience, period. That's it. And that's the Moses card. And why is it first quarter moon? Because first quarter moon is the moon of decisions. It's the moon of taking action, facing challenges. We have to activate these laws in our lives. They are the law, whether we activate them or not. But without our free will, we don't experience them. And that's what this eclipse is about for you, Sagittarius moon sign people. It's time for you to experience these laws. This is ninth house for you. This is reverberating for some of you a theme for the last nodal axes of Leo Aquarius that is being rung out, or it will be reverberating throughout this nodal axis of Cancer Capricorn that we are in for the next year and a half, the end of 2020. And so activating these laws through our free will, of course, law cards, logos, the word great father energy is that great father energy that says what? Act, the animus, the yang. And the yang is the gut chakra. The gut chakra is ruled by Mars. When we're talking chakra, we're talking what? Sidereal. So that's Scorpio for you, Sagittarius moon sign people. Most of you will be Scorpio sidereal moon signs. And this is a time to take action on that. That's the status of your ego soul alignment. The soul is just kind of waiting for some of you to act on making that choice to live your divinity. For others, you are facing that challenge, and through facing that challenge, you are learning to live the law. You are learning to trust it. We all do it in our own unique ways. We all have our own unique birth chart, our own unique cosmic calculus, our own unique frequency, and where we come into contact with these energies and these axes and these constellations, which is why I encourage everyone to watch both their Western and Vedic moon signs to see which resonates with them the best, okay? For most of you, again, it will be this one. And for others, it's going to be the Scorpio video, perhaps. Now, the ego, more specifically, in terms of this alignment of learning to live the law, making this decision for some of you, already facing the challenge for others, is the fourth third quarter moon card, which is a yang card, root chakra Akhenaten. This is the law of mystery and divine order. The ego is either having to resolve within itself that there are simply some things above my understanding and above my ways that are just the ways of Great Mother Father God that I will never understand. I'm just going to have to embrace. Sagittarius didn't have a problem with that, usually, unless the ego is out of balance. And here we have the root chakra. And so the root chakra is ruled by Saturn, which is where? In the south node right now, in Capricorn. That for you is third house energy. So where you are communicating with yourself first and foremost, your self-talk, and then that creates your communication with others. Where that is out of alignment with your divinity is where you may need to release some attachments to old MDT programs. So most of us respond to MDT either through excessive passivity or excessive aggressiveness in response to an insecure, unsafe emotional environment and physical for many people. And so we respond in extremes as well. If you have responded to MDT with passivity, you are a people pleaser and you recoil from your personal power, which is something Akhenaten absolutely could not do and did not do. He was the first ruler on the planet to institute the worship of the one God, and he was punished for it by the Egyptian scribes dearly. But he did it anyway, and to this day, all of our religions are based on the precepts that he established. And so this is where you are in your life, Sagittarius, moon sign people. This south node is in your second house. And so your family, as Akhenaten knew his Egyptian pharaonic family, was something that he had to define and refine for himself. And that is what you are having to do, and that's what you're needing to do. And it's scaring you shitless. Okay, and that's taking you out of balance. It's making you feel uprooted, ungrounded. But again, the cosmos is very gracious. Great Mother, Father God, and how our birth chart is laid out with all of these eclipses and new moon and full moon, and how everything moves along the path of Great Mother, Father God, the moon and the sun, gives us time, gives us the celestial rope that we need, not to hang ourselves as in the gospel of condemnation, but to lift ourselves up. And you will be given the tools that you need to do that, as long as you do your conscious work of making the choice to release those tendencies. So that people-pleasing tendencies got you scared shitless, you need to recognize that and say, oh, okay, I've been that way because I've been scared. I've been anxious, overwhelmed, feeling inadequate and insecure, so I had to create security around me. Recognize that, because now you have the energy of the nakshatra of Uttarasadat, which is where the sun is right now. It's an unchallenged, powerful, relentless, strong energy. It's strong willpower, in fact. It has to do with righteousness. And what is righteousness other than the embrace of our divinity? So you have that support. You have that ability to address it. It just needs to be addressed so that you can have the release work that you need during this full moon. Now, for those of you who are already feeling empowered, you already are embracing this energy of unchallenged victory. What Great Mother is saying is that for you, the second house energy with Saturn has more to do with you actually letting go of anything that you feel in your life presently is not serving where you're moving forward as it relates to your integrity, the hard-won self-truth, the hard-won self-talk that is feeding you, that is nourishing you. Don't give that away. What needs to be detached from is that no longer supports where you are today. Build that up. Build up your security in your birthright to be happy, healthy, and whole, and release anything that perpetuates the lie that you are not. In the position of what is supporting your inner work is Mayat, the Egyptian goddess of the scales, justice. And just as she is a goddess, we are gods and goddesses. And she has come with this powerful archetypal, she's our archetypal sister, as I say, to remind us of this energy within us. And within you, there is a supportive energy at this time that's first quarter energy here that is allowing you to make that decision on a high third eye level, to judge yourself in a fair, meaningful, and balanced way. Judge yourself not by what you have thought your journey should be up until now, but what you know it to be now. A lot of times we want to take into account a type of critical analysis that includes factors that we shouldn't be concerned about, like the opinions of others, like the commendation of others or the affirmation and validation of others. That has its place, but I don't see any seventh house energy here for you. I don't see any seventh house energy here for you. I do see third house energy where the sun is. And so that's communicating what your needs are to the world. And that is what's eclipsing the moon. And it is saying in Uttarasadat to do that in an unchallenged, victorious, powerful, relentless way. So, that's what I'm saying. And Venus is in your first house. And so that means you're going to be doing it beautifully. You see what I mean? But the universe is gracious. It doesn't just give us, energies for us to be challenged and bombarded by, but for us to really shine, be who we are and shine. And that's what's helping you, is this sense of internal justice from recognizing that you are guided, recognizing that you are guarded and protected in this endeavor to live your destiny, and that the judgment is yours. Remember, the ultimate judge is not so much the judgment of others that condemns us, but the condemning that we do of ourselves. Sagittarius, remember, is the energy of I see. And so with this third eye of I see, you're going to be able to see exactly how your destiny needs to be fulfilled by staying in alignment with your integrity, which is supported by this guidance, which is supported by this deep law of divine mother as well, that deep intuitive sense of who you are, and trusting those downloads. You know how to do that. That's second nature to you. We've talked about the status of your ego soul alignment being first quarter moon energy as well. But being in your gut chakra, ruled by Mars, which rules Scorpio, is really saying that as you learn to live the law, and this is a continuous process throughout life. We never finally get it as long as we're in this physical body, where we're in the density of this dimension of illusion. You are going to receive accolades, as we see Dorothy here with the mayor of Munchkinland. You're going to receive accolades for stuff that you might not really understand, because it is so second nature for you to trust and follow Great Mother. But just roll with it. Again, don't get overly involved with the critical analysis. Keep it centered, because in the position of why your soul wants to do this inner work of aligning with the law of destiny and free will, of living your divinity identity, is because it wants to really address the rage that has been smoldering deep within you. It really wants to release that. Remember, rage is suppressed anger. Because you are a deeply intuitive individual, you do get to feel that nurturing energy of Great Mother a lot. And so your sense of abandonment and abuse is not the same sense of abandonment and abuse that so many others of us with Mama Drama Trauma have experienced. It's more of, again, it might be kind of intellectual sometimes, that critical analysis type of thing. And as a result of that, there may be some deeply held issues of anger that have not been addressed, that need to be redressed, and this energy is going to support it, because the moon is in the nakshatra of Pusha, which is ruled by Saturn, which is in the south node, which is all about release. And again, this is in your second house, conjunct Mercury right now. So the ego soul communication is strong with Mercury. You have Saturn strong with the south node there, that is releasing, that's testing everything, that's sifting through everything. And you have Pusha that is nourishing, caring, giving, prosperous, protective, devotional. I mean Krishna devotional spirit, and very oriented toward the good. The symbol is cow tits, tits on a cow. It's like you have an abundance of Great Mother energy, Sagittarius moon sign people, to heal this underlying anger about Mama Drama Trauma at this time. This is waxing gibbous moon root chakra, and so it's a time for you to uproot this anger and to really recognize that you have been in situations either through extreme passivity or extreme aggressiveness. Aggressiveness on the other end of that continuum, how we respond, is bullying, being pushy, having to have things our way and that kind of thing. We know best. Nobody else knows as much as we know, and that kind of thing, to protect ourselves through Mama Drama Trauma. And again, the people pleasing on the other end of extreme reaction. And so these extremities, of course, create imbalance, which is why you have 4 third quarter moon cards about release, releasing with the law of soul guidance and guardian, releasing with the law of divine mother, double yin, just trusting her. receiving the guidance and the love. Yang energy, activating that law of mystery and divine order, just going with that law and allowing yourself to do what you know you need to do to reground yourself in the law of destiny and free will, your inner work, which is all about expressing your soul purpose. And we hear a lot about soul purpose, and it's really something very simple. It is to be happy, healthy, and whole. And this is an internal assessment. Many times, what we know more than others is the hardest thing for us to recognize than others. You know more than others what that is for you, Sagittarius moon sign people. What your soul is wanting to do during this eclipse, however, is to release the rage that is blocking you from seeing it clearly. And you're going to do it with a simple choice to do so. How? Ishtar. And that's what Ishtar is all about, the prostitute. Second chakra, full moon energy. It is your full moon card of your spread. This is a full moon. It's a huge full moon. So this is a huge card meaning for you. Second chakra is ruled by Jupiter, which rules Sagittarius and Pisces. Now we're talking about chakras. So that means we're talking about the sidereal astrology, the Vedic astrology. And so you are Scorpio, ruled by Mars, which is your emphasis learning to live the law, which is your gut chakra card of your spread. But with Ishtar, when we're talking about your desire, your second chakra, full moon, we're talking about making the decision to not use your resources, your time, your internal, your emotional resources to perpetuate extreme reactions to MDT, passivity or aggressiveness. In other words, to prostitute yourself to the mama drama trauma again and again and again, but to use your time, your emotional resources, your physical resources, in fact, to live up to who you know yourself to be and who you know is truly your most sincere expression of soul as you, through you. That's the prostitute. We decide as divine children how we want to prostitute ourselves because it's the oldest profession in the world for a reason. Everybody living and everyone who has ever lived must give something of themselves in exchange for survival in this physical plane. Everyone is a prostitute. The question is how we choose to do it. And you have the capacity more than others to do so in a conscious manner. But the issue is lining up with the law of destiny and free will through activation in order to do it. What may be keeping you from doing that, however, is the rage, the underlying rage. Just consciously activate your desire to line up with that energy and to release the rage. Have it shown to you if you need that rage to be shown to you. And I've already given you a hint. Great Mother speaks in a still small voice. Where are you too passive? Where are you too aggressive? Where does there need to be balance between insecurity and contentment? Where does there need to be balance between anxiousness and thoughtfulness? Where does there need to be a balance between confusion and faithfulness? Choose your focus. The eclipsing energies are going to support you in choosing the higher frequency, as your likely outcome is Sedna, the victim. Second chakra energy showing up again here about your desires. As a result of you doing this inner work, Sagittarius moon sign people, it's very likely that following this full moon, you will walk away perhaps with a real sense of, why do I have to go so deep with this? I see what it is, or I don't see what it is, and can't we just move on? However, this is not the time or the season to move on without an agenda. And your agenda at this particular time is requiring you to be clear about what your desires are, because crescent moon energy is seed planting energy. Where's your seed at? What is your seed? And so the seasons move on, whether we have a seed or not. And so for those of us that this season may pass, the outcome of doing this internal work may feel seedless. It may feel fruitless by the summer, by the July total solar eclipse. It may feel that way until, what do we have here? Crescent moon, second chakra. We're talking Sagittarius, Pisces energy. Crescent moon in Sagittarius is September, October. Crescent moon in Pisces is now, February. So for some of you, now at this time, you're feeling this way. And maybe until February, going into the Western, looking at the crescent moon for Pisces, feeling like, oh my gosh, really? But it's okay. It's okay. It's okay. The season will pass and you'll move on. March, April, May, June, July. Some of you, this might be for a while, especially those of you that this does not come as a confirmation, but as a clarity reading. Remember, the cosmos is gracious. So while this may be going on, you may be waiting for your seed to plant in the fall. And that's when I have my Southern Hemisphere people, speaking up. Okay, that's our season for planting. And others feeling like, okay, so what do I do between then? Well, there's a lot of release work that needs to happen. We have a lot of third quarter moon energy here to activate the law of soul guidance and guardianship, activate the law of divine mother, activate the law of destiny and free will, activate the law of mystery and divine order. That alone is something I know I worked with for years. I worked with the law of mystery and divine order. And of course, we work with these for an entire lifetime, but I mean work with it until I just was able to plant a seed of, okay, this is where I'm moving forward and accepting not the train tracks I lay down, but the ones that were laid down in the cosmos before I even incarnated. I'm ready to ride. Okay, I'm ready. That took me years. That's the law of mystery and divine order. So you have a lot of laws to work with, Sagittarius moon sign people, and that's rightfully so. This is happening in your 9th house. So you're going through a whole new season of spiritual enlightenment. Don't you want to be as enlightened and as purified through the process as you possibly can to come out on the other end with a seed that is worthy of you and your soul? I know you do. Thank you so much for watching, sharing, and liking. But as always, above all and most of all, remember, Great Mother loves you. And I do too.
Great Mother speaks.
I am Great Mother, Holy Spirit, Yin, Divine Mother, Cosmic Womb, Deep Space, the Moon, Dark Matter, the Void, the Black Hole, Hathor, Isis, Diana, Mami Ishtar, Kali,